Hey guys, I bought some birthday presents for number one Sonic the Hedgehog fan, so that means it's time. It's time for me to unlock my inner 12-year-old Sonic autist and complain about Sonic the Hedgehog comics. Not really complain. I actually really like the IDW comics. I've already previously kind of like said what my quibble is with the series, and I wasn't going to rehash it, but this volume directly addresses that plot point, so I'm going to rehash my autistic Sonic the Hedgehog IDW comics rant. So the thing that got me thinking about this is Sonic the Hedgehog and Batman essentially have the exact same narrative problem, which is that both of them have existed as two different kinds of characters. Adam West 1950s Batman is a delightful little goofball who runs around with his 13-year-old buddy Robin. They have picnics, and the Joker, he's disguising himself as Falstaff so he can steal the world's first jester hat from a Shakespeare festival, right? So Batman has been a goofy character, and Batman has also been a very serious character. The Joker has been a harmless clown, and the Joker has been a psycho mass murderer. Sonic has been a very goofy Bugs Bunny type of Saturday morning cartoon character, and there have been alternate portrayals of him that portray him as a bit more of a serious hero. And Robotnik's been a complete clown villain, and Robotnik's been a legitimate threat villain. So the TLDR is I like both versions of these characters, but generally you have to pick a lane, because if you're constantly going back and forth between absurd clown, psycho murderer, it strains the logic of the universe. And this ties directly into the no kill rule that Batman has, or the dilemma of should the good guys kill the bad guys. So in a previous volume, Eggman fell on a rock and hit his head, and he thought he was a harmless little toy maker, right? So then, of course, all the animals had a discussion of should we kill or arrest Eggman based on all the things he's done in the past. And Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic, of course, had a big argument about this, with Shadow saying we should kill this guy, Sonic saying no, we don't kill people, right? So that's fine. It totally makes sense for me for Sonic to be a more forgiving, understanding type who's more hesitant to kill. What doesn't make sense is for Robotnik to repeatedly try to destroy the universe, and for nobody to say, okay, sure, maybe we shouldn't shoot him in the head in cold blood, but can we at least lock him up? What it's doing is it's trying to make the point that Sonic the Hedgehog's sympathy and his desire not to kill people is a positive character trait, an admirable character trait. But because Shadow the Hedgehog is objectively right, and then Robotnik comes back and starts trying to kill people, again, it's accidentally sending the opposite message. Shadow is objectively correct. Eggman is going to come back and cause trouble again and try to kill people. And Sonic is objectively incorrect. This is something that annoyed me about Ian Flynn's. I loved Ian Flynn's run on it, but this was a sort of like problem running through it that was dealt with inconsistently in different volumes. So Ian Flynn has finished his run. Evan Stanley has taken over as a writer-artist. And so I'm kind of like giving the series time to find its legs to see if Evan Stanley has a solution to this problem, but we really, really, really need a solution to this problem, or it's impossible for me to stay invested. You can do a serious story where death is real and has consequences, or you can do a giant goofball Robotnik who's just a harmless little delightful clown, and of course we shouldn't kill him, but you can't constantly have me rocking back and forth between. Okay, rant is done. Batman is Sonic. That's my Sans' Nest hot take. So let's actually like flip in and look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. So we're building the story of a new OC, Belle. She's a marionette. I actually thought her story was quite well done. We met her previously in a little adventure. She had a little adventure with Sonic and the crew where she earned their trust. And then the twisteroo, of course, is that she was built by Dr. Robotnik. This was so obvious. They took one look at her and said, were you built by Dr. Robotnik? And she said, no, 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 no. So I thought, oh, okay, there must be some twist coming. So the twist is Belle was built by Dr. Robotnik while he had bumped his head and he thought he was a harmless little toy maker. So instead of making an evil robot, he made a friendly little girl robot who just wants to help people out. So, of course, now that her father is running around being evil, she's deeply traumatized by this. And this is her epic backstory where she has to like confront her parental trauma and have her Pinocchio story before she joins the crew. So I actually thought that whole little subplot was handled well. Tangle the Lemur, by the way, I think that Tangle the Lemur is like a class act in how to write an OC and introduce them into an existing franchise without running into the Mary Sue problem. Her powers fit very naturally. Her personality fits very naturally with the bigger crew. So it's clear, like, when you want to introduce a new character, you pair them up with Tangle, the lemur, to kind of like give them a chance to develop their characters a bit more. Now, meanwhile, while the two secondary characters are having their little bonding experience, Amy, Tails, and Sonic are having a wild adventure running through a kooky labyrinth Eggman has built and uncovering his secret plans. And it's only after kind of like evil is defeated that the dramatic revelation is made that Belle is the pseudo daughter of Dr. Eggman, but she's decided to like not follow him in his dastardly ways. She's going to work with the Sonic's team of good guys, right? So that's all very straightforward. And then when we get to the end of it, they decide to let Eggman's two minions go. And this is sort of underscoring what's annoying about this to me is Eggman has demonstrated a complete willingness to murder and enslave everybody on the planet. We should be past the point of, oh, gee, what a clown. Well, shame on you, Robotnik. Don't you do that again. We're long past the point where they should minimally be locking his ass in jail. And it's actually totally believable that they just take Robotnik out and hang him at this point. So no, the reason I'm gonna stick it out is it sounds like we're going to revisit that plot point. So that, to me, that means that this is a chance, I think, for Evan Stanley to address the problem and sort of like make a decision on the direction for the series. Is Eggman redeemable or not? He hasn't killed anybody. Well, no, that's the problem. In previous volumes, he hasn't killed anybody purely through spectacular Saturday morning cartoon logic where he's unleashing world-ending plans, but everybody magically avoids dying in any of these scenarios. But in the side series, Tangle and Whisper, they have established that, yes, indeed, Eggman has killed people, right? So I don't think that they can just magically make him a happy little toy maker. After that, there are lots of people whose lives have been destroyed by Eggman. They need to start treating this like a real fight, or they're just going to perpetually be letting him go forever and ever so he can come back next week and kill more people. So now I'm being tough on this series, and it's actually because I really like it. It has a lot of strong points in its favor. In a just planet, this would have been the basis for the Netflix series and not whatever the heck they're doing with Sonic Prime, because this is actually tonally, this is like a Saturday morning cartoon. But it's not specific enough to say it's like a Saturday morning cartoon. This is tonally like a Saturday morning cartoon that is talking to 12-year-olds rather than talking to 6-year-olds. Super Mario Brothers has Saturday morning cartoon logic, but it's Saturday morning cartoon logic at the level of 6-year-old. Bowser is a fun villain because Bowser is a 6-year-old's understanding of what a bad guy is like, which is what makes him so delightful and cartoony and hilarious. He's more like a mockery of evil. Eggman has been a goofy little cartoony 6-year-old's idea of a bad guy, and especially like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That is peak goofy Eggman. Eggman of IDW Sonic legitimately wants to kill and enslave everybody. So we can't do the oopsie doopsie, what a goofball, nod and wink element anymore. We should be seeing Sonic. And I don't want to see like Sonic like pull out a gun and like shoot Eggman in the head. So listen to my heart on this. I don't want Sonic to be an edgelord, but it doesn't make sense for Sonic to continually be always forgiving and always like just letting the bad guys go without any consequence at this stage in the series. Now, maybe that's where they're going in future volumes. I'm kind of withholding judgment to see that. So I'd say 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's still delivering really solid action adventure, really good element of comedy, really good distinction of the characters' personality types. I guess I'm withholding judgment until I see where Evan Stanley takes the series before I start giving it a rave review. So I'll be reading more, and we will see. I'm the Marmaduke fan, Spurg contained. Love you guys. Catch you later.